was nothing short of a miracle when, after 531 days of living in captivity in Qatar, all the 8 decorated ex-Navy officers were released. They had been awarded the death sentence, and any hope of coming out alive was bleak. A year had already passed. Amidst all of it, one can only imagine what went through the minds of the 8 Indian nationals. Whether they would ever be able to meet their family ever again. Would they ever return to their homeland? Would they all die on the false charges of espionage? I'm sure these were all thoughts that crossed their mind. Commander Sanjeev Gupta joins us today to tell his miraculous tale of rescue from the clutches of death. Commander Gupta, welcome to NewsX. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me over here.
Well, we are all very relieved, as I'm sure you are and your family is. When you finally set foot in India, sir, on the aero bridge you prostrated. This said a lot. What emotions were going through your mind at that time?
See, absolutely, the mind of, it was a great relief. And we were sure that we are not going to go back to Qatar. Those were the feelings which I had when I was prostrated, when I was lying down, that nobody is going to take us back to Qatar. Those were the feelings. Feeling of relief, feeling of coming back home. These were the feelings which we had.
Commander Gupta, 17 months in prison in Qatar. You didn't even know on what charges you'd been arrested. There was so much of uncertainty around everything. How did you cope, and what were those weeks like?
I mean, if you ask me, those days were horrendous. Those were horrible days. We have gone through. I mean, I don't know how I've passed my time, but after around 3 months or so, I decided that the thinking and thinking about the sentences, thinking about all this thing which was going on won't help me. So I made a routine. I used to do around 1.5 hours of meditation, around 2.5 hours of yoga, that physical training which we used to get it during our military days. That has kept me alive, that has kept me going. Never, those were the trainings and, those were the routine which has really helped us a lot.
Yes. Were you and your fellow colleagues serving your sentence in the same prison, sir? Were you all together in the same area? And if you were you all each other's support system for this period?
No, around 1 year, 1 month or so, we were alone.
Okay.
And thereafter, yes, we were doubled up. In the last 5-6 months, we were doubled up.
Must have been yes,
the relief came after when we doubled up. Yeah, when we doubled up. No, the relief came when we were doubled up. We were, at least there was somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
There was somebody to talk to, somebody to discuss, somebody to. But those 1 year was that 1 year in solitary confinement was really tough. Really tough.
I can imagine. It must have been a frightening experience. Were there moments of doubt when you questioned yourself, when you doubted whether you would come out alive from all of this, whether you doubted whether you would ever return to your homeland, get to meet your family, your children ever again?
Around first 4-5 months, yes, there were doubts. 4-5 months, 6 months, there were doubts because we were alone. We didn't know what's happening. Whatever little inputs which we used to get it from family and telephone calls, which was very restricted. So we were a little shaky, we were on a little shaky ground. But yes, after 6-7 months, at least I was relatively sure that Indian government would take us out.
Yeah.
So that's the feeling. यहाँ पे लोग कहते हैं मोदी है तो मुमकिन है. Then I started feeling, I used to watch those international news and all these news channels. So then I thought that Modi है तो ही possible है. Modi है तो ही मुमकिन है. So I think I was relatively sure that we would come out.
But what about that moment?
But thereafter that sentence. Sorry.
Yeah. Please complete.
Go ahead, please.
What about that moment? There were hectic negotiations taking place between the government of India and the Qatari authorities. The country's PM himself was supervising to ensure you came back safely. But then suddenly, you had the Qatar court awarding you all the death sentence. What was that moment like? Did your heart sink? Did you all feel that the hopes you had of returning home were dashed?
Yeah, absolutely. When this sentence came, we were doubled up, and we used to. I remember we used to discuss and we used to talk about that, and there was for a week or so, we were actually unable to say anything. We were dumbstruck, and thereafter, first call when it came through, then we realized that yes, now the government would do the needful and they would take us out. I mean, we started becoming relatively sure after around a week or 10 days.
Yes. All the time, while you were in prison, Indian envoys were providing consular access to your families, to meet you as well inside prison. How many times was your family able to visit you at that time? What conversations could you have, if at all?
See, my family was over here, so whenever she used to travel there, once in a week, she used to get that family visit access. So, it's for the half an hour. So we used to discuss. I mean, we used to discuss whatever. First of all, we used to discuss how is my father, who is 90-year-old, family, friends and all that. And we knew that some solution would come out. And they used to update how they have met EAM over here and what the consular, whatever the EAM and his team, what efforts are being taken, little bit. So that used to give us solace. So all those were heartening things to hear.
Yes. Were the Indian envoys in Qatar in constant touch with you? Did it help in keeping your hopes of returning home buoyant?
Absolutely. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to His Excellency Mr. Vipul Shah. He has been a pillar of strength for my wife, basically for all families over here and for us over there. And whenever during the consular access, he himself used to come. Every consular access he has come, he has visited us. And that was, he was very, very, confident. He used to give us confidence that, believe in God, be patient. The whole government is doing this thing. Whole government is coordinating and trying to take you out.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. How were you treated in prison? What sort of life was it for you there? Were you getting all amenities? How was it while you were in there?
I would say it was it was very average. We were very, there was absolutely no problem at that end. Other than the psychological pressure which we had, physical needs, everything was being met by the authorities. See, I'm a BP patient, so I used to get my medicines in time, food in time. I mean, everything was looked after. That was not a problem at all.
Right. How does it feel now to be back home? Obviously, it's very, very emotional for you to be reunited with your family. I'm sure your family is also very emotional. But how is it like now to be being back home? Just describe that feeling for us, and how your family has been reacting to it all as well.
I mean, it's freedom. Basically, it's freedom. And my both daughters, they were really shocked. They were really shocked when that penalty was announced. And in fact, it changed their life. My elder one, she was preparing for some exam. She just said, I'm unable to concentrate. She shut those things. My wife, she was running helter-skelter, here, there, coordinating, managing, meeting me, So it was absolutely bizarre scenario over here where everyone is going in. So now when I've come back, it is such a good relief for all of them. And they were, my elder one, when at around 2:30, when she got a news, she couldn't believe. She said, I have to talk to my father to, believe that he is at IGI Delhi airport. They are maha thrilled with all this thing.
Yeah. I think there's so many family members were meeting who we spoke to. I think one of your relatives, he said he's not even been able to speak to you. I think he only spoke with your wife because everyone was coming and meeting you, and I'm sure you must have been so tired and probably lost your voice in all the emotional meetings.
What do I say? Last 4 or 5 days, it's been really hectic. All the relatives, all the friends, everywhere, we're going, attending all 3 meals outside, or they are coming in here. So it's been these 4 days, they are extremely, what do I say? I'm unable to express in words. As you must have seen that I'm really so happy. I'm really so happy to be back. And actually, if you were to ask me, I don't want to think on those 17 months. It's an ordeal which is gone, which is finished with. I just don't want to think and move ahead.
Yes. Commander Gupta, now the personal intervention of the PM of the country, did that strengthen your resolve that you will most definitely return home?
Absolutely. I think that is one of the most important factor which has worked in our case. It was Prime Minister Modi's personal intervention which has done the magic.
Yeah. What all was happening behind the scenes? Obviously
and on ground, of course.
Yeah, diplomatic efforts were underway. The back channel talks were on. Obviously, External Affairs Minister was speaking. PM also personally intervened. So a lot was happening behind the scenes, wasn't it?
Yeah, even I have heard that there's so many channels which were being exploited or which were being used. But as far as my knowledge goes in, I saw ambassador. I literally saw ambassador going out of his ways to go meeting people over there. I've heard from him that he has met so many people and he's trying his level where the groundwork was absolutely top class. And diplomatic channels have worked. EM has spoken there. Prime Minister, as you all know, is personal intervention. He has spoken to Amir. So all that has worked in our favor.
Yeah, also Commander Gupta, I want to know when did you first get to know about the news of your release? What was that moment like, and then what happened after? How long did it take for you to actually leave the premises of the prison where you were and take the flight back?
We were out at 10 on 11th 10 a.m. And ambassador brought us to Ambassador House, India House, and thereafter evening flight we took 8 o'clock. We were at airport around 5:30 or so, and 8 o'clock we took the flight and came over here at Delhi, and thereafter all the families were informed and we could speak to them.
Yeah, I think one of the veterans was still in Qatar. It took a bit of time for him to come.
Yeah, because he lives over there only. So he's out, he's living with his family, and we are all out here back.
Yeah.
We all families are over here.
Yeah.
So that's why we have.
Yeah.
So he would also be coming back if he wishes to.
Yeah. Who gave you the news that, for the first time, and what was that moment like, that that your release has finally been sanctioned?
Nobody gave us news actually. Those guards came and they said, pack your bags. And we just packed, so there's no talking over there. So we just packed our bags and we were taken out. Outside we saw ambassador standing, and we sat in his vehicle, and that's it. So nobody gave us news actually.
Yeah.
When we came to India House, that is the, when you come out of the facility, then obviously you know that you are being, and you see the ambassador standing there, you obviously know that you are going home, or you are being relieved.
Yeah. And that's when the feeling of relief obviously dawned on you, as you were saying. It was like a freedom, independence for you once again. But Commander Gupta, through all of this, do you believe now, and looking back how things have been handled, and also from what you've heard, that India's position in the world has reached a new level, thanks to, of course, PM Modi and our foreign policy efforts? Do you believe that India now occupies a new position in the world? The outlook towards India and Indians has changed.
You are absolutely right. I echo all these sentiments, because per se for 17 months we were watching all those international news, we were watching news channels generally, and we really realized that there's a lot of work which has gone in. And I used to read those books where which were sent from here. It is the perception of India has changed. It is that prowess, it is that diplomatic prowess, it is the Prime Minister Modi's charisma or his teams. It has made India's I would say a decade ahead.
Yes. What would you say to your fellow countrymen? What would you say to your fellow countrymen who were praying for you, who were hoping for your release?
See, it is only their prayers, because everyone who has kept us in mind, and I came to know through my wife that the whole Indian citizens, they made a petition, and there's so much of a movement, sort of a thing which was going on. I'm really indebted to all my Indians here and abroad who have thought about us, who really made it a movement, which has given an indication to the government that the Indians really want them back. I'm not saying that that has made them work. As it is, they were in the process of taking us out, but this has given us a real good feel that, you know, whatever we have worked for this country for 30 years, served in the military, and that has paid us.
Any special plans for the days ahead?
So, I mean, I really, as of now, I'm already, you know, 56 plus. So, as of now, I intend joining various NGOs and dedicate myself to completely to the nation building, to the upliftment and all that. There's nothing special plan other than this.
Yes. Also, a bit of family time in the next few days for you?
Oh, 100%. All this thing which I just said, that will only start happening after 3 months.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, 3 months I just need to get back to shape. I need to meet my friends. I need to get back my Josh. I need to, you know, go to the friends, have some party, get my Josh back. I mean, I'm really, if you look at my countenance, I'm really tired. I'm really, you know, my Josh is, it's low.
Your Josh needs to be high. Next time we meet you and we ask you, how's the Josh, sir? We want you to answer high. You know, also it's important, as you're saying, to get your mental stability back, mental strength back, because obviously physically it takes a toll on you, like you're saying, you're tired today. Obviously mentally it must have been tough as well, Commander Gupta.
No, actually it's more mentally than physical. I mean, just to give you an example, somebody asked me what is your home address day before yesterday, and I took around 40 seconds to tell him what is my address. I said, yeah, just give me a second, let me think what is my address. You know, that is the kind of a mental trauma which we have gone through. I mean, we were physically very strong, otherwise because of the military training, but mental disbalance, yes. Mental psychological pressure, yes. First time I realized that there is something called, you know, depression, anxiety attack, panic attack, hallucination. All this I have gone through. Earlier I used to think this is, you know, these are the sign of weak people. But I am mistaken.
True.
I am extremely, you know, wrong thinking in those lines, because I have myself have gone through hallucinations. So I require some time to get back.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, also, what would you like to say to the PM and the government and the External Affairs Ministry and the diplomats who perhaps may hear this interview? I would, you know, from bottom of our heart, I would like to thank Prime Minister Modi, EAM, Ambassador, and the complete External Affairs Ministry per se, because they, you know, they must have really worked very hard in this. And what I say that after the death penalty, this is a new life for us, which we are, and this new life is because of them. So this, you know, whatever, if we can ever do anything for national building, I would be the first one to raise my hand. Fantastic. Have you spoken to anyone as yet, the Minister or the Defence, External Affairs or Defence as yet?
No, as of now, no. As of now, I think they purposely not disturbing us, because yes, I have not spoken to anyone as of now.
Okay. All right. Well, take care and get your spirits up. And you know, we were all praying for you, and we're so happy you're back. So, Commander Gupta, thank you very much for joining us on NewsX. And as I told you earlier, when we meet you next, we want to ask you how the Josh is, and you have to answer hi.
Thank you very much for having me over here.
Let's take a break. Much more on the other side.
For more such videos, Subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.